This is the briefing for Wednesday, August 26th. I just really have to start this briefing with the comment that this is one boring market. Um, the watch list that I keep, most of the stocks are showing red today, meaning they were down. There are a few that are up. Uh, I look at what's happening within the indices themselves, and basically there's no movement, there's no volume. And there's no movement to the internals either, suggesting a strengthening or weakening of the market from an internal perspective. And you can see here, this is like 5 days, 6 days of just slow rotation with really no movement at all. Same thing with the Qs and same thing with the Russell, the IWM. You can see volume is just extremely low through this period. Same thing with volume in the Qs. You can see what's happening here. And volume for the IWM is just really atrocious. I mean, there's really nothing there. In terms of market breadth, only 67 shares positive in the S&P 500, negative 777 in the NASDAQ, and negative 340 shares positive in the Russell. So basically, and I talked about this in last night's briefing, and there's really not a whole lot to do except to sit on our hands, maybe trade some individual stocks, which I'm doing, and I'm going to talk about one in just a few minutes, and wait for a breakout of this area of rotation for each of these indices, and then look for the internals to confirm the move. And then we should be in the process of a pretty good move. I mean, you can see here, if we break out to the upside, next really level of resistance is going to be all the way up to the 777 area from 768. So that's about 9 points higher, which would be a pretty good move. Same thing with the Qs and with the Russell. On the other hand, we'll go to a daily chart and see that the breakout to the downside would be just about the same thing. You can see here that a breakout below 760 is going to suggest the potential again at 720. That's a 40-point possible move, which would be a rotation back through this area of rotation. Now, this right through here is the area of rotation I just showed on the hourly charts for the spiders. You can see what's happening with total volume in the spiders. 52-week highs minus 52-week lows finally went almost zero, only 16 shares positive. NYSE breadth, not S&P 500 breadth, but NYSE breadth negative 195 shares. Really nothing here, but you can see a breakout here is going to open up the potential to trade up to the high, which comes in around the 780 area. Breaking this low is going to suggest a potential to trade down to the 720 area, which is this area of a lower extreme. In the Qs, basically the same thing. Now you can see this is the area of rotation we're looking at. This is another area of rotation in a different time frame, and then a third area of rotation in a different time frame also. Breaking this is going to open up potential to trade down to the 684 area, which is going to open up trading down to the potential to the 657, 658 area. If we were to break out of this area of rotation, this 5 days of rotation here, that's going to open up the possibility to trade up to 735. All these breakouts that I'm talking about, if they happen, we really need to see the internals strengthening, whether it be to the upside or to the downside, to support the breakout move. If it's not, then we're just looking at the potential of some big prop firm stepping in and trying to get buyers or sellers to come into the market and move it in a breakout fashion. But unless or until we get the breakout, we get the price movement, and we see the internals beginning to confirm it, we are just stuck with really no place to go, at least at this point in time. This is the IWM. You can see the rotational pattern here, one time frame, a second time frame here, and a third time frame here. A little bit more clear than on the chart of the Qs. Look at volume in with the IWM. Russell breadth negative 340 shares. Really just no strength in either direction for the indices, at least at this point in time. Now, in terms of overbought and oversold, you can see we're still neutral, really not going anywhere. And then in terms of total volume, you can see what's happening here. This is NYSE volume. This is a low that we haven't seen for quite some time, even lower than this day here, which was the July 10th. NASDAQ volume, this is another extreme low. Looks like it's a little bit lower than this area right through here. Interestingly enough, looks like we got a head and shoulders top right here in terms of volume, but I don't think that really works on a volume chart. I think we need to leave that to a price chart. But interesting to see what happens. I can't imagine volume in the NASDAQ falling off any more than it already is, but we'll see what happens. Net volume in the NYSE still stuck in this rotational range, just as price is. And in the NASDAQ net volume, you can see it's all over the place. A little bit of rotation right through this area, right through here. Negative 920,000 shares in the NASDAQ negative today. That was a little bit of a weak day. So it's going to be interesting anyway to see if the market can get some fuel to go in one direction or the other. Now, I want to talk about the stock, and I think that this is interesting. This is Dick's Sporting Goods. DKS is the ticker. Now, Dick's was basically in a rotational pattern. You can see that right through here. So it's been in a rotational pattern for quite some time. It broke out yesterday. Dick's had a very poor earnings announcement and not very positive outlook for the future. But it's down over 30%, 35%, something like that. I just kind of watch this. I like to look for things like this because a lot of times it's overdone and you get a bounce after it. So I went in and bought some of this. Actually, I should qualify that. I bought some options, some call options in DKS. And you can see that we did get that little bit of a bounce. You can see volume was extremely high, which tells me that potentially that we have an exhaustion move here. You can see volume was a little bit lower in terms of this bounce, but still pretty good, which suggests the potential that some people are probably looking at this and saying, I think it might be a little overdone, and they're stepping in and starting to buy as I did. But once again, I bought options. I bought call options. So I'm going to be watching this pretty carefully now. In terms of buying this and holding it, the stock, or whether you have whether you buy options, I've found in the past I cannot put a stop in on an option because the market makers in options, especially if it's not very actively traded, will take out the stop and then move it back up in the opposite direction. But I have an alert set that if we take out yesterday's low, then I'm going to be looking very carefully at this and potentially will exit the trade, potentially for a small loss or even just a break-even move. But it's going to be interesting to see, especially I'd like to see this candle completely retraced. I don't care if we trade through there. It'd be nice if that happened. I don't think that's going to happen based on their earnings call and their press release. But it would be nice to see more of this candle retraced and then maybe get a rotational pattern as Dick's tries to figure out what they're going to do going forward and make some type of an announcement. In any event, have a great evening, and I'll pick this back up again tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be easier to have a much better analysis of the markets other than just a continuation of the pause that we've been seeing.